what? I could definitely see why people might think that Mackenzie is trifling, but I gotta say, I saw it coming. Hi guys, welcome back to the Shannon Show podcast. Hello if you're new. So today's podcast is going to be a review of Love Island Season 2. So yeah, I've decided to catch up with all of the episodes so that I'm now like on par with when it's airing in the US, because I'm not gonna lie, it was just a bit annoying it all being a week later and I just kept seeing spoilers, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna catch up. So yeah, that's why there is such a massive jump in my podcast episodes. But yes, here we are. And I really do hope everybody is being as proactive as possible in supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. And if you're still on the lookout for some resources, I've linked some in the description. Feel free to comment down below your thoughts on my commentary. I'm always up for a chat, I'm always up for a debate. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. No hard feelings. So, episode 16, Casa Amor. So Johnny, I thought he was a good man. I thought he was going to be one of the good ones. But he proved me wrong. So he stepped out of the relationship with Celie. And I think it definitely wouldn't have been as bad if he was kind of on that, well, I'm still going to be open to getting to know anyone else. He kind of had portrayed himself to Celie as, you know, she's the one and that's it. He's not going to be pursuing anyone. A pretty face isn't going to sway him. It did, no disrespect to Mercedes, but it just really didn't take that much for him to just start stepping out the relationship out here and start swinging them lips around, shawty. So like I said in my prior podcast, you really just can't be trusting any of these men out here. And on top of that, you can't be trusting these women either, because Mackenzie was doing a chastity relationship with Connor, and now she's decided she doesn't want to do that chastity thing anymore with Connor. And she was definitely enjoying Jalen's lips, and it's looking like she's gonna ditch Connor. But we can get more into that later. In the beginning of the episode, the Casa Amor boys are talking and I guess kind of strategizing. Aaron is kind of one of the more active ones. He's really trying to secure a spot in the villa out here, because some of them are kind of being very laid back, not really being aggressive, but Aaron, he's out here trying to secure a spot in the villa shad. So he decides, or well, he claims that his ideal people is Moira and Justine. Interestingly, he doesn't pursue Justine. He pursues Moira actively. He does pursue Kristen as well later in the episode. And I think the reason why he decided to kind of choose and stick with Moira is because she's probably the easiest person to secure a permanent spot in the villa with. Justine, she's got this kind of situation with Caleb that could be potentially sticky. Moira, it kind of seems like her and Calvin aren't that secure. So of course, that's going to be an easy option for him to secure. So yeah, I definitely respect Aaron's hustle, but and I think he probably will be able to maneuver his way into the house, but I'm not sure if he has enough charisma or something about him that will keep him in there for the long run, because I think if somebody else comes along, I think Moira will probably hop on that. I don't think Moira has really found anyone she's really clicked with yet. I mean, I knew her and James weren't going to work out, and I have this feeling that she's just with Aaron because he's good for right now, and she's probably assuming that Calvin is going to get it on with somebody else. So an interesting development is that Mackenzie actually says that with Connor, she didn't feel that she was being herself, and that with this new Jalen guy, or even just in Casa Amor period, she feels like she's being her genuine self. And she's now realizing that her and Connor just aren't compatible, and she's ready to dive into this new guy Jalen, and they have a really nice kiss. Like it was a nice kiss. You know, she was really feeling that hand. I could tell she appreciated him putting his hands on her neck, because it kind of feels like her neck's been a little bit starved, you know, in this chastity relationship with Connor. But yeah, it's pretty much a done deal. Mackenzie is leaving Connor. But what do you guys think about this? Because it is a little bit trifling for Mackenzie, because she really has been bullying Connor she really has been putting pressure on Connor for them to be this couple, you know? And, you know, to be fair, I think Connor has been a willing participant in this relationship because he just doesn't have any game to pursue anybody else. But Mackenzie has definitely been putting an emphasis on this relationship. So, do you feel like she is trifling or not for basically now just ditching Connor? You know what? I could definitely see why people might think that Mackenzie is trifling, but I gotta say, I saw it coming. Connor is just too high maintenance, and Mackenzie isn't used to babying a relationship. She's used to people taking control. She's probably used to bigger egos. She's used to being made to feel like the trophy. This is just me assuming, but this is what I'm guessing from her relationship history. I think she's used to someone with a bigger ego. I think she's used to having spicy arguments with people. And it's just like with Connor, you can't even have a spicy argument with him because he just apologizes and just agrees with everything you say. And then on top of that, you kind of need to convince him to agree with everything you say as well. So it's kind of like he's a yes man, but he's a high maintenance yes man, which is just, I don't know even how that even happens. Because there's definitely a difference between a yes man that worships the ground that you walk on and a yes man who is just very frustrating to be with because you have to keep telling him to do stuff. So personally, I just kind of knew they weren't going to work out from their very first conversation when she was kind of saying how he never comes up to her and how basically she's not used to that, but she can learn how to get used to that. When she said that, I knew the relationship was going to be finished very soon. And what do you know? But yeah, I just... And then obviously, then we cross-cut with Connor, who's basically declaring his undying loyalty to Mackenzie. And it's just very sad. I mean, it got to the point where Johnny and Carrington were trying to pull him aside and counsel him and being like, look, from what we're seeing, Mackenzie is gonna leave you. Mackenzie's gonna leave you. They'll basically tell him to bring someone as insurance. And he was just like, you know, I trust Mackenzie, and you know, she's free to do whatever she wants, but you know, ultimately whatever she does, I'll accept the decision, and you know, basically I'll live by the sword, I die by the sword. And it's just gonna be a very pathetic death. I don't know what's gonna happen next for Connor. I think if he does end up in a relationship, I don't know, I think on paper some people might find Connor being so hopeless romantic, but in the end it's just like you're actually putting too much work in the relationship and it's just going to get boring. But I mean, for the work that you'd be putting into this relationship and babying him through this relationship, and the reward isn't high enough for the labor. So I just kind of feel like if someone was to get with Connor, it would probably be a game move just to stay in the villa. But I don't think he's gonna have much success once Mackenzie ditches him. But I'm not gonna lie, I am feeling a bit bad for him. As much as I've cussed him out, I am feeling a bit bad for him, and I think it's gonna be a bit of a tense and awkward and sad watch when Mackenzie comes back into the villa with a new man. I'd be interested to hear from you guys. What do you think about this whole situation? Could you see it coming? Are you happy for Mackenzie? Do you feel like Mackenzie's just living her truth? Or do you feel like she's trifling? And what do you feel about Connor? Do you feel like sorry for him? Or do you just feel like he's just being a bit stupid? Or he should have expected it? I'd be interested to hear from you guys. There's also an interesting development with Kirsten. It becomes evidently clear that she is still interested in Carrington. Because she's talking to these boys and you can just see that she's not remotely interested in them. She's not remotely interested in them. And some of these people are quite a catch, like DeAndre, I think his name was. He's good looking, he has good values and stuff like that. He hasn't really been that aggressive though. But she just doesn't really seem interested. And eventually she does have a little heart-to-heart with Jalen and basically said that she doesn't have that attraction with anybody else. She doesn't have that pull with anybody else. But she just kind of says physical attraction, but I'm kind of thinking it must be more than that if you are, like, basically crying over this boy. So it must be more than that. I don't know what more it is, though, because, I don't know, Carrington He's a character. He's a character. He kind of thinks of himself as this alpha, but he's really just not. I'm kind of thinking maybe she's trying to secure another 6K bracelet. You know, he's got a good job. You know, not bad looking. You know, a nice ride and a 6K bracelet. You know, who knows? Maybe Carrington. Maybe, but who knows? Maybe she's seeing a side to Carrington that we haven't seen. You know. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what decision she makes tomorrow, because she was kind of torn as to should she come back alone to prove to Carrington that she does like him, or should she just come with somebody else, because she's pretty sure that Carrington is going to come back with somebody else, which he most likely is. I feel like she should just come with somebody else and then maybe just say her feelings, just to make him sweat a little bit, you know? But, I mean, if she really does like him, I guess she could come back by herself, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of sharing your vulnerability to men. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like she should go with the power move and bring back a new man and make sure he's really tall. Another interesting development is Justine. So in the beginning of the episode, Justine is talking about how she's interested in Aaron, she's interested in Mike, but then she basically revealed that she's not really interested in them romantically, and that she's only really talking to them as insurance, because she just has this niggling feeling that Caleb is going to come back with somebody else. And you know what, Caleb, you know, he's been having his fun. I'm not sure if he's really stepped out of line. I guess their relationship is still kind of early days, but he's definitely had his tongue busy, definitely. But she's had her fun as well, you know? So I feel like they're in the early stages of the relationship where, I mean, all of that could be swept under the rug. I mean, it's different because I guess in this Love Island environment, it's different. But in real life, when you're in the talking stages, you know, you're seeing all of these other people, you're kissing all of these other people, and then you decide who you want to commit to, you know? So, but it's a very strange environment here, and there's kind of energy of commitment, but I think it's definitely a different situation to Johnny and Celie. But obviously we see a development that Caleb is basically saying that he is gonna pick Justine. He's not gonna come back with anybody else. He's set on Justine, which is great to hear. He said lots of nice things about it, which is nice to hear. But it's quite but we still kind of don't really know what Justine is going to do, because we've got Mackenzie on one side saying, yeah, he's going to leave you, bring someone back as insurance. And then we've got Celie basically saying, no, he's gonna come back alone, don't bother. So I don't know. I think even if she did bring somebody back, if she explained to him and said, you know, I just brought him back as a friend because I just wasn't sure, I think he would understand. Celie was basically saying how he's going to be a bit meh about it, but I don't think so. They haven't really been together as long. And I think Caleb is even a bit nervous anyway. So, yeah, it's going to be like, oh, shit, when she walks in with another man, if she picks another man. But if she was to explain things, I think it could easily be resolved. I don't think it'd be that big of an issue. But what do you guys think? If Justine was to bring... Oh, my God, these birds messing up my flow. Wow. These birds are pressed. Okay. But yeah, if Justine was to come back with another man, do you think Caleb would feel a type of way even if she explained it was just as insurance? Or do you feel like they would be able to just continue where they left off? I'd be interested to hear from you guys. But yeah, it's just unfortunate because Celie was like, oh, you know, Caleb and Johnny, they're good men and they're gonna, you know, they're gonna come back alone and, you know, I can trust them, I have faith in them. And obviously Celie was getting a bit emotional last episode as well. And it's just sad. Obviously Johnny's gonna come back, and, you know, be alone, and she's gonna have this false sense of, oh my god, he's a great guy, like he didn't do anything with anyone, and this just proves the relationship, and then he's gonna drop that bomb on her, and it's just gonna be horrible. It's just gonna be horrible. So we might as well just talk about it, the whole Johnny and Celie situation, more Johnny. So Johnny basically decides that he is all about Celie now. He tells Mercedes he's only about Celie, which I thought was quite interesting because he seemed very comfortable in the bed with her. He didn't really set any boundaries. Of course, he told her he wasn't interested anymore, but he seemed quite comfortable with her kind of prancing on the bed, which I thought was quite interesting. But yeah, obviously we see another talk with the boys, and he's basically saying how, you know, he's had his fun, he willingly stepped out of the relationship, but all of this has made him realise that Celie is so rare and how important this relationship is, blah, blah, blah. You know, the cheater script, you know. But do we classify it as cheating? I feel like it is a little bit cheaty, because it's not like, even though they haven't really been going out that long, Johnny has made it seem like he is a one-man dude and Celie is for him, and that's it. No one else is going to come in and, you know, turn his head away. And they haven't had one conversation, and there's been quite a few girls coming in, but they haven't had one conversation where he is like, okay, my mind has changed now. Maybe I might be open to getting to know other girls. So the whole time that they've been together, he has presented himself as a one man. He has presented himself as his eyes are only for Celie, and that's it, and that's going to be him to the end. That's going to be him to the end. And even in the beginning, when he was presenting to us, the audience, he said he's a one-man man. Once he finds someone, that's it. He's going to be with them to the end of the show. But the temptation. And Mercedes, of all, I mean, if it was somebody else, maybe I would have been like, okay, the temptation, like Cher or something. But Mercedes, I'm not going to say, I'm sorry to throw her in it, but I didn't think it would be Mercedes to tempt him. But I just kind of feel like it's just somebody else who's a good liar, who talks the talk, look in your eyes and lie to you. I mean, I feel like Celie is definitely going to be upset, but I feel like she is going to take him back. It would probably be the smart thing to do to take him back. I mean, at this stage, Celie with anyone else, I don't think it would make sense. People tend to forgive cheating men, so I think they'll be all right. So, but I'm not looking forward to Celie finding out, and because I know her reaction she's gonna take it to heart, and it's just kind of like she's got to this point where she's opened up, and you know, she's really put her trust in this guy, and I mean with Mercedes. I mean, it's a shame, and now she's probably gonna be I'm just not even. But yeah, I'm sorry, sis. I'm sorry, Celie. So, but yeah, do we hate Johnny now or what? I'm not gonna lie. I'm disappointed. But I don't put anything past anybody. So I don't really have any strong emotions towards this. I feel bad for Celie, but I mean, you know, like I said, you can't be trusting these men, Shadi. So Carrington, throughout this episode, has just been enjoying his baby boy life. He's just been enjoying the playboy life, just spreading his lips everywhere. And it seems like the two girls he's picking between is Laurel and Mercedes. Obviously, Laurel, she kind of seems like a cute girl, but I'm kind of hoping that he picks Mercedes just because I feel like she is really fun. I mean, she's been having her fun. She's also been living her best life, like not giving a flying fuck. And I respect that. So I feel like he should bring Mercedes back. But it's quite interesting because I think Carrington has put himself in a bit of a sticky one where Carrington has been honest, but he hasn't really made commitments to anybody. But in these girls' heads, he's made a commitment to them. Mercedes doesn't like being second place. And when she heard that she wasn't first place in Johnny's eyes, she wasn't happy about it. But at the same time, she kind of needs to be smart. So obviously, at the end of the episode, Carrington gets to pick someone for a date and he has to choose. And obviously, whatever he chooses, Laurel or Mercedes is going to be pissed if it isn't them. So now he needs to make a decision. But Mercedes also needs to be smart if she wants to secure a place in the villa. I mean, you can't be complaining about, so I'm not first choice to you when you're trying to secure a place in the villa. In real life, that is great, but if you're trying to secure a place in the villa so you can stay here, build your Instagram followers, you got to play the game, innit? So yeah, I think it's going to be quite interesting. I hope that he does pick Mercedes. I don't know. I feel like Laura's a bit boring. I feel like she is. So I think he should pick Mercedes. But what do you guys think? Are you here for Mercedes or not? Because I feel like she probably is going to get under a few people's skin because, she went for Johnny knowing that him and Celie were quite strong. And, people ain't here for it, but I'm here for the drama. I'm not gonna lie. I'm here for the slimy, grimy shit. So yeah, I'm personally team Mercedes. I'm team messy Mercedes. So yeah, the producers are really cheeky for setting up this date, but I'm here for the drama. I'm here for it. I'm here for the mess. But it's quite interesting. That caught me off guard is that Carrington was out here giving people solid advice and basically telling people like, if you have someone who you're serious with back, if you already have somebody that you're serious with back in the normal villa that you want to pursue things with, you better stop the bullshit right now so that the stuff that you have to confess ain't too crazy. And I thought that was interesting that was coming from Carrington of all people. But he was definitely right. He's definitely right. Another interesting development is another kind of funny situation in the episode was when Maura basically tells Kirsten to back off Aaron because she saw them speaking with each other, but she tries to do it in a really nice and sweet way, and Kirsten was just kind of like, so what are you trying to say, bitch? Are you trying to say back off Aaron? Like, just be real with me. And she was like, no, it's just And that's why I love Kirsten, because she's a real bitch. Because, yeah, she should have just said, look, I like Aaron, I know you're really not that into him, so can you just, like, leave him alone, innit? And I think Kirsten was cool with it, but, yeah, Kirsten is a cool bitch. She clearly wasn't that pressed for Aaron. So, yeah, I thought that was a bit funny that she was trying to just be so nice about it. And then lastly, we see Calvin, who is trying to secure an insurance partner. He definitely isn't really checking for any of these girls, but he knows Moira is definitely going to ditch him. So he's just looking for insurance. So it kind of just feels like he's just going around picking people like on half-assed, doing a little eeny, miny, mo, and it's landed on Cher now. And she's a really pretty girl, so, I'd be here for this platonic relationship and possibly seeing her get further in the game with somebody else. But I thought what was quite interesting about their conversation is that she basically said that, people have this wrong perception of her and she's not an attention seeker, which I thought was quite funny since she's gone on a really big reality TV show. So she obviously does want attention. So I just thought that was really funny when people say that whilst being on a reality TV show that they applied for because they want more clout. But, I'm here for sis, I'm here for her, I mean, she's just saying whatever she needs to say, innit? But I just thought that was a bit funny. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the juice for this episode. Next episode, I'm hoping is going to be the recoupling. But with the format, obviously, I watch the UK one, and the format usually is that they'll have the recoupling and then they'll have one big recoupling at the end that they will drag on to the next episode. And I'm guessing that's probably going to be Mackenzie and Connor. Yeah, do let me know what you thought of this episode. Do let me know what you thought of my commentary. What do you think about the whole Sally and Johnny situation? Do you think Justine is going to come back with a new man? What are we thinking about this whole Carrington, Laurel and Mercedes situation? And what are we thinking about Mercedes, period? And of course, what are we thinking about this Mackenzie and Connor situation? I'd be interested to hear from you guys. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you have, don't forget to put that notification bell on so you know when the next podcast is dropping. I'm also trying to get to 1.7k, so I'd appreciate if you help me out with that goal. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed so far. Till next time, guys. Bye.